Just the computer.
Sorry.
Need to click at the computer now. How's the battery in the clicker? Try again.
The next button.
No, it's moving.
Oh, it's on a timer.
Because it won't even be, you can't even force it. Okay. Yeah, let me, oh, there we go.
What did you push? Oh, that's the button there.
We know our solution works because we have fulfilled the needs of larger projects, like maintaining the roads between Cowan and Port Stewart in Far North Queensland on an annual basis, some fencing works at Dixie Station with Queensland National Parks, plus some smaller projects with the Moranbah Junior Motocross Club. We also have many clients who are farmers, graziers and small property owners. There are currently at least a dozen councils, small businesses and other projects throughout the region which we could service. Some regions we could service include Isaac, Mackay with Sundays and Charters Towers. However, we could go farther afield to Far North Queensland or out west towards Mount Isa. The list is endless as we can provide freight for our equipment to take it anywhere it needs to go. But let's not forget about the farmers and small property owners because we can fulfill their needs as well. At Strucks Hire, at the moment we can only operate Strucks Hire part-time on our days off, but we would love to expand and get our business supporting us full-time. To do this, most larger projects require application of capability statements and tenders, which we currently cannot do. So if there's anyone here today that would be willing to have a chat with me about writing and the applying process of these, that would be greatly appreciated. But before I go, I'd like to thank everyone who helped make this program possible. Thank you.
Oh, great timing.
Wow.
Excellent. So we'll open it up to questions. So if there's anybody in the audience or on Zoom who'd like to ask a question, just unmute yourself and Nicole can answer those.
Okay. So is your primary target, is that sort of everything but mining? Is that how I...
Yes,
yeah,
yeah, because there's lots of people that do mining and we prefer to stay out of them.
And are you trying to get councils with the sense when you're talking about tenders and safety and stuff?
We would love, yeah, we would love to get in council. That would be great. Just need that help.
You know, there's a new portal that makes it quite easy to submit.
No, I didn't.
There is a new portal on the council website for anyone that wants to be involved in the tendering process, and it's actually really quite straightforward.
Okay, well, thank you. I just want that one.
Excellent.
Thank
Great,
you.
Nicole. Thank you.
Sorry, wrong one.
So we have Jenna Armstrong from Realty Plans. Thank you.
You don't need to point that in.
And-
It's Wi-Fi.
Oh,
Okay.
that's fancy. And just one moment while I share this screen as well, and we can do the timer after. Let me share the screen first.
Have a look at the green button at the top of it. It's a laser pointer too if you want to hold it in the screen. It's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So pointed at aeroplanes.
Yeah.
I'll say the same.
Okay. Hi, my name is Jenna Armstrong and I'd like to introduce my startup company, Realty Plans. At a guess, I would say each of you have either rented or bought a home and maybe even hired a holiday house before. If so, I'd like you to think back and envision how helpful a floor plan would have been when you were looking to buy, rent, or hire that property. A floor plan would have made the photographs make sense, given you spatial envisionment, and allowed you to trust what you were looking at. Because unlike other visual media, a floor plan can't lie.
That would be Race Forge. Is that working? No. Okay. Yeah, excellent.
From my market research, I can tell you that people want to see accurate floor plans in market listings. I can also tell you that there is not a single company that can offer a way to provide an accurate, cost-effective, easy-to-use option that is Australian-owned until now. In my 12-week journey with Split Spaces, I've encountered many blogs and many public documents from industry leaders, such as realestate.com, Domain, and Airbnb. They are all encouraging customers to supply a floor plan. To see if the general public were thinking the same,
Yes, working? Yep.
to see if the general public were thinking the same, I ran a survey, and guess what? They want to see floor plans too. In fact, 100% of people surveyed said they would find an accurate floor plan helpful if buying or renting a property. So why aren't people including this magnificent piece of information that has proven to be resourceful? I'll tell you why. Because it is too hard. Currently, there are redraw services, D.I.Y. softwares, and measuring apps. Without specifically explaining each service, they each result in a very time-consuming process. These options are cheaper than our services, but you will not be pulling your hair out at the end, trying to learn a new software, sketching your property, and going backwards and forwards, trying to get an accurate result. At Realty Plans, we have figured out a way to make this process so much easier. We have rated ourselves 5 stars because our service is low cost, delivered in less than 24 hours, accurate, 100% Australian owned, and there's no crazy software to learn. You can order online within minutes. The property is measured via a video call between the owner or agent and Realty Plans. The owner does not have to sketch anything, email anything, or learn a new software that they will likely never use again. The completed floor plan will be emailed to the client in less than 24 hours from the measure. Because unlike our competitors who want the homeowner to do all of the hard work, we walk our clients through the process, ensuring the end product is as accurate as possible. It is our intention to begin offering our services locally and provide floor plans, site plans, interactive property tours, and real estate photography. Okay. This is an example of a property tour which brings a floor plan and photography together on the same platform. After we have gained some momentum locally, we will start branching out to other areas. The market reach in Australia for our product is huge. Even by capturing a small percentage of these numbers, we will be able to grow our business, employ others, and create new local jobs. Myself and our amazing photographer Amanda Ward are both proud locals who hope to grow this business and have the opportunity to teach others our knowledge. We have many years of industry knowledge and the passion to take Realty Plans to the Australian market. I would like to thank all of the organisations who supported this program. The last 12 weeks has been eye-opening. The course has provided me with the tools I needed to validate my business idea, which has given me the confidence to keep moving forward. If you are here tonight or listening in via Zoom and want to know how you can help this new company get off the ground, we are looking for customers. We need customers to help us validate the last stage and provide feedback on our services and fee structure. We are offering 50% off all of our services in return for your honest feedback, but only to the first 10 people. This includes our real estate photography, floor plans, and interactive property tours. So if you or someone you know are looking to sell or rent your property, we would love to hear from you. Please contact info@realtyplans.com.au. Thank you for your time.
Fabulous. Thanks, Jenna. And again, we'll open it up for questions.
Are you planning to target sellers direct, or you can go to real estate agents?
Both. Both. So ideally, if we could get the homeowner to purchase them, that would be great. But I'd say the real estate agents will be our best because they really need to sell it to the person. But if we can get the floor plans, interactive tours, and the photography done prior to them choosing a real estate agent, that would be the ideal goal. But yeah.
Seeing that all the person's got to do is do a video of the room, and then you're basically building the floor plan for that. Is that what you're saying?
So we will be on the phone with them. So we hook up a video phone call. So once they've gone online and paid for it, we make a time with them, and basically they're walking us through their house, and they still have to take measurements, but they don't have to sketch it and do everything else themselves. And as they are giving us the information, we are on the other end drawing the floor plan. So it's basically getting drawn as it's getting measured.
The reason for that question is more from a business point of view rather than, I don't understand real estate at all.
Yeah.
But when you did that a second ago, I was thinking, like a lot of businesses, particularly the small guys, they have to have emergency plans and like evacuation plans, and you can just put some of that, go around and they could do that, and you could draw that. It's not, may not be the photograph stuff, but purely by doing the design, but it really is. My services offer that service, but I don't know how much they charge. I mean,
Who offers the service?
Fire service, so like
they do.
Fire extinguishers and stuff.
That was one of our possible clientele, but people like Airbnb, if you look on their website, they encourage the people to have an evacuation plan at the exit point of the house. So we are hoping to market to them to do a pretty floor plan for their marketing online, and then also dumb it down, put your little fire extinguishers and whatnot, laminate it, and have it on the wall. So, yeah, it's a similar thing for your fireys. Yeah, thank you. Is that it?
Great, thanks, Jenna.
Thank you.
Okay, so next we've got Hayley Ford and Kelly Wong from Ease Fatigue. Wang. And I will just share this screen.
Now, is this going to?
I think the only reason that's happened is because I've admitted people while the PowerPoint's been going. So if somebody wants to come in halfway, they're just going to have to wait. And then ideally it'll just work. Okay? Although that is not your screen. Okay, you share. No, stop share. Just hold tab. Oh, the old Alt tab. See, that's on that one. Go to that one. There we go. Perfect. Thank you. Yes, absolutely.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Hayley Ford and this is Kelly Wang. We work in the areas of health and safety and the diagnosis and treatment of sleep disorders, respectively. Our experience has led us to identify a shortfall in the risk management of fatigue in the workplace caused by sleep apnea. Sleep apnea is the most common sleep disorder affecting almost 1 billion people worldwide. It causes excessive sleepiness and reduced cognitive functioning, which can lead to decreased mental processing, memory and concentration, as well as an increase in reaction time. Sleep apnea is a recognised factor leading to fatigue. However, as big as the problem is, there is very little, if any, controls put in place to minimise the risk of this disease in the workplace. Sleep apnea is... Risk management is a critical part of my role. It is essential that a company identifies any hazards that may cause harm to a worker. The risk management process includes identifying a hazard that causes a risk And then it looks for controls that can be put in place to reduce it. What we have seen is that the risk of fatigue caused by sleep apnea is identified. However, the controls are ineffective in reducing the risks associated with this chronic disease. Our company proposes to fill that gap. These are images we see all too often. What if we could have saved just one of these from happening? What if we told you that our company could reduce the amount of fatigue-related incidents in your workplace? To bring this into context, safety initiatives have evolved over years from hazards being identified and controls being put in place. Seatbelts were introduced in cars in Australia in 1971. Fall protection came into effect in the 1970s and 80s for construction workers. And the latest hazard to be controlled is the use of mobile phones whilst driving a vehicle. Like these safety initiatives, Ease Fatigue Solutions wants to create change in all industries where safety critical tasks are undertaken. Just like an alcohol breathalyzer identifies the risk of people not being in a fit state to undertake a safety critical task, our program can do the same in relation to fatigue caused by sleep apnea. We provide a system for employers to proactively manage and monitor fatigue caused by sleep apnea on a daily basis. Not only will this reduce the social and financial costs to the worker, the employer and the global community, but it will save lives.
Hallie and I have been in our respective industries of workplace injury and management and healthcare for nearly 20 years. I am the owner of Healthy Sleep Solutions, which specialises in the diagnostics, treatment and monitoring of sleep disorders with a focus on sleep apnea. Haley is the owner of Proactive Management Consulting and specialises in the industry management field. She has a special interest in the mining industry, working in this area for the past 10 years. We are both recognised as industry leaders in our field and want to continue this by setting new standards in relation to identifying and controlling workplace fatigue caused by sleep apnea. When a person is diagnosed with sleep apnea, a CPAP machine is used for treatment. Our program obtains readings from the sleep apnea machine and confirms if a worker is compliant with the Australian standards for the treatment of sleep apnea. It then converts this information to a simple traffic light system so the employer can confirm if a worker is at risk of fatigue in relation to sleep apnea prior to them commencing work. Red indicates a worker is at risk of fatigue and should not commence work. Amber signals are warning that a machine usage standards are low but have not yet reached breaching point. And green is that they are compliant and fit for work. Our company is based on a product subscription business model. Companies will pay an upfront set fee and then subscribe on a monthly or yearly basis, and the cost will be determined on the number of employees. We invite you to become a foundation client and to be recognised as an industry leader with this health and safety initiative. We challenge you as an employer to work with us to prevent the human and financial costs associated with fatigue in relation to incidents caused by sleep apnea. Please contact us for further information on becoming partners and creating a safer workplace for your people.
And like everyone here, we'd just like to thank everyone that's made it possible for the last 12 weeks in order for us to work with our initiative and look forward to putting it into practice. So thank you. Thank you.
And any questions for Haley and Kelly?
Yay! So, you're proposing that you go to a company and hopefully my words come out right, so don't take it any other way. So they would have to know that people have sleep apnea, so it has to be a reported thing as such. I mean, mining industry is probably more prevalent with the medicals. So what you're suggesting is that as part of their improvement plan as such, that they, with that employee who has sleep apnea that's using a CPAP machine, is that they need to regularly supply the data from the CPAP machine to put into your software, or is it like has it?
No. So basically, what would actually happen is that all that information would be kept private because we supply the system. We would have the machine details. Yeah, we would have the machine details, and therefore it would go into our system, and all they get is the traffic light. So all that information is kept confidential. Yeah, which is a huge issue for people.
So is the subscription for the software and the tool, like the CPAP machine, or are they buying the machine?
No.
The software is already developed, and we have some industries that actually do develop and do 3-monthly and 6-monthly checks on a manual system. So the employee that is using the CPAP machine, with the technology, we don't need anything from an employee at all. All the information is through the cloud and given to the human resource officer on the actual morning of a shift. And we can actually determine whether that employee is being compliant with Australian standards and cold board.
Yeah, just the
So I'm still confused. How do they get the data? Like, is the data?
So yeah,
so the data is simply
on Kelly's side of things in the sleep apnea world, from the CPAP machine. She has all that data anyway, but there's a serial number from the CPAP. So basically, I mean, it's everyone's obligation to present fit for work. So, you know, and if you have a medical condition that can be impeding your fitness for work, then you should disclose it. So, I mean, obviously we are going to come up with those ones that don't, but you know, the whole safety and health and safety initiative is to get those people, get the CPAP number. That goes into, obviously, Kelly's saying that software is already provided, but what our program is, it links up with that software, and then we provide that as a program onto the employer's system.
I think it's a case of preventing the accident.
No,
We would already know if a employee.
Yes, I get the traffic lights, that's all cool, but I mean, how you got that?
It's already.
So our proposed computer system links up with the already.
Whatever exists already.
Yeah.
And just something with it. Cool.
Yep, so just some questions here from our audience. So Sean from Advanced Queensland's wondering about the worker, what you do to support the employee to reduce non-compliance.
Okay, so with the traffic light system, obviously there is an amber warning to say that their usage is getting low to a non-compliant state. But at any time, the employee can contact us if they're having an issue with their equipment, if they're having an issue with their masks. They're more than welcome to actually come in. That's why we've got a holistic approach, as in we diagnose people, treat people, manage people, and this is what we're already doing. So the employee has got direct access to us as a retail CPAP supplier and helping them through. But this is it's always been where now the employer will have that option to have the information.
So from my point of view, from an injury management point of view and a workplace point of view, so Kelly specialises in that area, so then I would come in and work with the employer in order to put a medical management plan in place, a health management plan, in order to look at what issues the worker is having if they're not compliant, and look at how we can resolve that and assist that as part of the program.
And how much money do you need to grow the business, and where will that come from? So that's from Colin, Startup Onramp.
It's a good question. Myself and Hayley both.
Very popular question.
Myself and Hayley both have the capacity to probably move this forward, but the only limitation with us is time, probably, and money. It's a case that we would love someone to come on board just to kind of like take more of the time aspect away. We could start this tomorrow. We could be online, ready to go to tomorrow. It's about the app development. And
we are also looking, I mean, there are grant avenues as well that we're looking at. So that for us is probably the avenue that we've focused on, is a grant in the health and safety initiative sector.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, but to answer your question exactly, the programming, we're in talkings with a few different software companies. So specifics haven't been.
Not sure how much you're going to need just yet?
No.
Okay. Great, and my apologies for changing that slide.
Let's keep it there.
So to contact Hayley and Kelly, I'm not sure that I could, I don't want to touch too much.
Go back on the recording.
Or just contact Split Spaces. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. Great. Okay, so now we'll have Royce Bailey from CQ Print 3D Print RV. Just hold your horses there, Royce. For some reason, what's going on? Just I don't know. Why did that go? But where's my mouse?
Shall I flick through? Book works.
I don't know how to go there.
Yeah, it's literally up there.
Oh, something's happened. Pull it back.
Now I can't get into that screen.
Okay. See, I've lost all of the, that.
The Zoom override that normally occurs doesn't seem to be working. Because usually what happens with Zoom is... Well, you know yourselves, like if Zoom's doing something, whatever Zoom does, it cuts everything else out on your computer, whereas that's not happening and it's wanting to keep your mouse.
Okay,
Sorry.
well, that's okay. Look, we'll just roll with it. Everyone's being very patient. Thank you.
No, clicker's not working.
The clicker's not working. Oh, it is on this screen? Oh, goodness. Okay. Just breathe. So how do I get...
in there.
But no, look, I have no mouse here.
Change the screen.
Yeah, I'll
Working
just...
now.
Got it.
Okay.
There you go.
And I don't... Yeah. Anyway, we'll just go with that. That's fine.
Awesome.
I just let the people on... I just let you know over there, if you're chatting and stuff, Sherry's I'm going to watch the chat, manage that. Okay, great. Thanks,
Good to go?
Royce. Yes, go for it.
Hi guys, my name is Royce Bailey. I have a small 3D printing business and today I'd like to present one of our products to you, the Clever Cool fridge fan system. So what problem are we trying to fix? A lot of caravan fridges don't work properly. They don't get as cold as they could. And this can lead to warm beer and food spoilage. So who likes warm beer? Let's face it. Just as evidence that it is a problem, I've gone through and got a few posts off Facebook. I'll just read them out to you in case you can't see it. Hi guys, our fridge and our Joko Swan not working the best. Do they work okay or do they only just keep cool? Ours probably won't even cool a drink. So that's a bit of a problem, it won't cool a drink. We've got another one here. Hi all, our three-way fridge struggles on these hot days, hooked up to power at a park and only getting 8 degrees, has internal fan. What have people done or replaced them with? So we can see from this, it's a common problem. So what is the solution? The solution to cool your fridge better is to improve the airflow over the back of the fridge. To get rid of the heat from behind the fridge, you've got to have airflow to get rid of it. Hence, we introduced the 3D Print CQ fridge fan system, Clever Cool. We mount 2 fans onto the upper vent of the fridge, and those fans draw air through the bottom vent, up over the cooling fins on the back of the fridge, and exhaust them out of the top. It's as simple as that. Where ours differs from a lot on the market is we use 3D printed plates that are zip tied on, and this encloses the entire vent and ensures that all the air that those fans move is drawn through the lower vent. Makes them extremely efficient. We also have a very simple connection method here. It's a one-plug system. You unplug it, remove your vent. It's very simple. No other system on the market has that. Just as evidence that the fridge fan system that we produce actually does work and is extremely effective, I've got a graph here that shows the interior temperature of the fridge on 4 days, over 4 days. You can see the line here is where the fans were installed. On day 1, the internal temperature of the fridge in the hottest part of the day was just below 14 degrees, not good. Even worse, on the following day, it was around 17.5 degrees. This was with an ambient temperature of about 40 degrees, which when you're camping in summer is not uncommon, particularly if you're out in the open sun. Once the fans were installed, you can see here the temperature never reached above 5 degrees. As a matter of fact, this is my fridge. I had to turn the fridge down because it was freezing my lettuce at night time. That's the 0 degree line there. Okay, how much does it cost? It costs $155 for the kit. That's all it costs. In the kit, you get everything you see here, everything that is required to fit the fan, including a 16-page, actually I've edited it, it's now a 14-page instruction manual printed in colour, which gives you step-by-step process to fit those fans. Very simple, they can be fitted in as little as 15 minutes. So far, we've sold 415 kits Australia-wide. We're web-based, so they're ordered through our website. Caravan Industry Association's done research. Currently, there's 711,000 RVs registered in Australia, and that number is increasing on average by 5% every year. We expect it'll actually grow further this year due to COVID-19. No one can travel overseas. We're hoping lots of people go caravanning. Why use Clever Cool fridge fans? There's a number of reasons. I've tried to summarise some of them here. 3D printed plates improve efficiency. That's a game changer, guys. It maximises the efficiency of the fans. Can be installed in as little as 15 minutes. They simply zip tie on the event. Quick Connect system simplifies wiring. 90% of the wiring is already done for the customer. All parts required are included in the kit. And we're Australian made. The future, we've got exciting things coming up. Currently we have an internal fridge fan system which will integrate with our external fridge fan system. July 2020 that will be released. September 2020 we have an electronic thermostat which broadens our market even further by making it compatible with electric fridges. November 2020 we have a remote control option that will enable people to see what their fridge fans are doing and control them from inside their RV. They don't need to go outside to see if they're working. And 2021 to 2022, we hope to start looking at manufacturing in large quantities and selling them on the market. Guys, do you own a caravan fridge that doesn't cool properly? If you don't, if you know someone that does complain about their caravan fridge all the time, please point them in our direction. Thank you for your time. I'd also like to thank the associations, organisations that are listed on the left-hand side of the screen. Thank you very much for your time. Are there any questions? Oh, come on, there's got to be some.
Any on the chat?
No, not yet.
With that, do you actually take out the existing fan or it actually just goes on?
So majority of RVs don't actually have a fan already installed. So there's an external vent for your fridge. There's one at the bottom and one at the top. You simply pull your top vent out, zip tie the fan plates onto it, connect it up to 12 volt, zip tie a thermostat, switch onto a pipe, put it back in. That's it. It's even got a little light on there that shows you when the fridge fans are working. So there's visual feedback as well. Fans are very quiet and very efficient as well, current-wise. Yes, sir.
So that was part of my question, but getting the power to it, so explain that a bit more.
Okay, we don't actually provide detailed instructions where to connect the power, simply because there's that many different van systems on the market. They all differ, they've all got their own proprietary systems. There are two places you can install it. If you have a fridge that has automatic energy selection, there is 12 volts readily available behind the fridge to connect into. If you don't, cable needs to be run to the battery management system, and 5 metres of cable is supplied for that, as well as a fuse and fuse holder connectors. So everything's included in the kit.
We have two questions
Yes.
from the Zoom audience. We've got one from Colin at Startup. So can you license the IP rights to the RV fridge manufacturers?
Yes, we can, Colin. I've actually patented the plates. They're under provisional patent at the moment, and we're hoping to get that in 12 months' time, get that examined and make it a permanent patent. Australia only at this moment in time, but we'll see where we go from there.
And from Sean, we have, to what extent are you connected in with supply chains such as Jayco? Is there interest?
There has been interest. I've approached Jayco early in the piece and they provided me with a list of questions and issues that they could see. Over the last 18 months I've worked through those issues and I've pretty much come up with a solution for every one of them. Once I've got things, the electronic thermostat option finalised, I'll be hoping to revisit Jayco and other caravan manufacturers and discuss if they're interested in making an OEM equipment. That's my plan anyway.
That would be an awesome comment.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Great, thank you, Royce. Just want my mouse back. Okay, and our final pitch this evening is from Mickey Isaac Boyd of Savvy Scripts. Thanks, Mickey. I just want to say that stand this side of the lecture rather than that one because they're kind of view.
Okay. Alright.
So just check that's going to work because I don't have that on my. Is that moving anything? Yes, it is. Great. Okay, perfect. Okay, thanks, Mickey.
All right, hi. Before I begin, I would like to thank Advanced Queensland, LBF, RDA, Mackay Regional Council and Split Spaces for having this incredible program over the last 12 weeks. So hi, I'm Nikki. I am from Savvy Scripts Publishing. I'm a writer, a former breakfast radio presenter, an amateur historian, and not according to my children, a super great listener. So picture this. Imagine an archaeologist 1,000 years in the future, it's probably after World War XIV, and they're digging through their digs and they find a copy of Justin Bieber's 2010. And they say, well, this book must have been the way that people lived in the early 2000s. And they go ahead and they write all their history books based on this. Now, if that horrifies you, you might be surprised to know that actually that's how a lot of our history has been created. We know about our history because of the elite who had access to scribes and from diaries of people who had access to education and the written word. We know a lot about Cleopatra. We don't know much about the labourers, the doctors, the artisans who worked with her to build those cities and the people that lived in that time. So at Savvy Scripts Publishing, we're dedicated to recording and preserving the stories and knowledge of everyday people for future generations. We actually want to work with the mums and the dads who helped to create our world and the world that we live in right now. So how we work with you and your loved ones to capture your stories and your memories and experiences. And from those interviews, we create your personal and private memoir. We offer old school personalized one-on-one sessions, and we do this via Zoom to anyone in the world. And then we build your book from there, adding in photos and family trees to build a really beautiful, in-depth version of your life. Here's a copy of Mandarin. So our business model, at the moment, it's the cost plus the markup. But we're actually exploring the use of AI technologies to actually help with this, with the editing and design. Some really interesting programs out there, and we're still in research at the moment about how we can use these technologies to actually help with the editing and design of our programs to actually make it really cost effective and also still preserve that quality, which is what we're all about. So our business model, as I said, is that cost of plus markup, but we're also looking at a really scalable model, which is teaching other people how to write their own memoirs. Now, if you do a quick Google search, you will find 1,000 other companies out there who are helping to teach you how to write your memoirs. But those guys are interested in helping to teach you to write the next New York Times bestseller book. We're actually not about that. They're about making 1 million books from one product, and we're about making one book from 1 million products. We're about, letting you know how to write to your great-great-great-great-great-grandnephew and telling him about the life that you had back now. So what industry share is it? Well, I know we're Savvy Scripts Publishing, but we're actually less of the publishing industry and more of the $2 billion and growing genealogy industry. We look at ourselves as the memoir version of SBS and Ancestry.com. So validation, by the end of 2020, we have an existing business right now. We're close to finishing 12 books. It might not seem like much, but these books have taken us some time. And our clients have paid up to $5,000 for their memoirs. Now, we've done a bit of research, and around the world, private books, as we call them, are really big in the UK, the US, South Africa, and in India as well. And those books go from around 15,000 upwards. So we found that for $5,000, it's a really affordable way to get your memoir told. But obviously, there's a big room to grow with that there. So how can you be part of Savvy Scripts Publishing? Well, we're looking for investors to help us push our business and reach that billion-dollar global market. And we're looking for clients who want to be part of history and tell their story in their very own memoir. So as an epilogue, I forgot to press the button. Yeah. For someone, when someone passes away, they take a library with them. Every day, 150,000 libraries pass out of this world and into the next. Makes me cry. Without these memoirs, we wouldn't know about Jim. Jim, who lived down in the Pioneer Valley, 1931, and he let me know that when he and his family used to travel from Mackay or Camden, used to take a day, and when his parents would get to a creek, they would send all the children out to the running, flowing creek to see how fast it was before they worked out it was safe enough to put their car through. Those stories we don't get. So remember the beads that I mentioned before? Don't let him be the voice of your generation. Help us tell the stories of everyday people, because your story, my story, your story is just as important as his is.
Fabulous, thanks. Questions?
Lots of questions. Yes, ma'am.
So if you were looking for people to get involved, how do you envisage that would happen?
Yeah, so as an investor or as a client?
Well, in various, both of them.
Cool. Okay, so clients are really easy. As we're using AI technology, we can talk to people who are near us, we can talk to people around the world, and we do those interview sessions via Zoom, and they're all recorded. We only audio record. We've had a lot of discussion about people who are interested in having video recording, but we find that people get nervous when there's a video camera in front of them, so we just audio record. And so that means that we can take those stories and work from anywhere in the world, and then it's easy to build those books from there. So we're really interested in those AI techs. As I said, we're doing more research to see how we can actually make that process even better and faster. And from investors, I'll take a cool meal, you know, whatever. I'm kidding. No, I'm sorry.
So the AI factor would be a tech investment that people could look into?
Yeah, I think there is some really interesting technologies that are already out there. So I think for us, it might be looking at, you know, what's out there with, there are some Google programs. I've just momentarily had a blank, which is really great for a pitch. But there are some really interesting programs out there that can help either gather information. There's also a really cool one that we're looking at where you might say, your grandfather might say that on the 14th of February 1966, he started his accountancy job, and this information might automatically let you know that that was also the day that in Australia we changed from pounds to dollars. So that technology might even, you know, build your book and make it even more full, I guess, of the information and relevant to the world around them at that time.
Yeah. Any questions on chat?
Just now. So from Sean, my dad recently passed away and I have been telling his everyday story. Can you just plain English the AI process so I fully understand?
Yeah, okay, so as I said, we're looking at that AI from that, but I think, so we were looking at something like Microsoft Teams. There's another program called, it's not GoPro, but something like that, where we can put up copies of the book and get other family members to come in and write their sections and then add their photos into those sections. So it meant that you could actually get, you know, 100 different people to go in and edit, but not like Google Docs, because people delete things and it's very scary for me. But where you might be able to invite members of your family to come in and share their little memory of that story and it automatically adds it in without deleting anything. So that's for us is really big. We actually had, myself and my graphic designer who works with me did a 20-minute session with a company last week to look at their technologies. So it's very expensive though, it was like $5,000. So for us, we were like, okay, we're a startup, how are we gonna work that? So, hey! Yeah, that's effectively it. So I am still doing more research, but yeah, there is some really interesting stuff. If that answers that question, I hope it answers that question.
It might be the UX experience that needs the investment dollar.
Oh, look, it might be.
Fabulous.
Cool.
Thank you, Mickey.
Thanks, everyone. This is my book, not my kid's book, so you know.
I'm
We don't judge here. Not while you're in the room.
I'd love to be able to operate this machine properly, but anyway, that's fine. Great. Moving right along then. Let's put that one up. Beautiful. Excellent. Melissa Larson, one of the directors of Split Spaces. Thank you very much.
Wow, what a fantastic journey the last 12 weeks has been. This is our 13th, isn't it? I feel so blessed to have finally got to know everyone here after, you know, watching us all on Zoom. So it's been an amazing experience. I joined Split Spaces last year as on the board of directors as part of sort of creative input. And, you know, it's my first time being involved in anything like this. Anything to do with entrepreneurship, this innovation space idea. And when this was announced, I thought, wow, maybe this is something I could come and be part of as a director to sort of understand how Split Spaces works and, you know, the sorts of programs it delivers. And at the time I was doing some study and I thought it might even help me in being able to pitch what I do and think about how I can use that. So hence, here I am, joined the group, and whilst I was progressing along and having a go at some of the different things that we were doing in the first few weeks, I soon realised that, yes, I was pretty happy doing what I was doing and that it was the experience and the learning that I was taking out of it, which was going to sort of help me in my directorship, as well as opening up lots of doorways and spaces that I could also use perhaps in school and education and things like that. So it's been a fantastic opportunity, but it's just got better and better every week seeing the progress of you guys. I'd like to thank also the fabulous partners that have helped put this into place here. It's been amazing being online and just being able to connect with incredible people from Queensland and people who've got experience in other places as well, who have just provided the most incredible experience. Again, not something I've ever had anything to do with, and it's just completely sort of opened my eyes up and broadened my horizons about starting up a company and what it is to be running and trying to, you know, start up a business, and just how much it takes from you guys being involved with that. So it's been really incredible. Courage. It starts with courage. It starts with showing up and letting ourselves be seen. Brene Brown, who we all love. I just think that statement sort of summarises beautifully what you guys have all done. And we did show up in our best outfits, backdrops and hairdos, thanks to Zoom. Zoom, Zoom, Zoom. Let's go back to my room so you can see me. Oh, scary stuff. I thought it was hilarious.
I was recording. Oh, I am.
I think everyone knew that my darling husband made me a fabulous fish meal one night. I can remember that. I was on mic and hadn't turned it off. That seemed to be my thing, and I was reminded of that tonight by Sherry. Oh, you were the girl who had the mic on. Oh my God, hilarious. Anyway, so yeah. Courage is contagious, and the courage of people like you guys, Mickey, Linton, Royce, Jeffrey, Nicole, Christine, Jenna, Kelly, Hayley, and Sassy, to put themselves out there. Fears, worries, doubts, warts and all, literally. makes me realise just how incredibly lucky Mackay is to have split spaces, and that our region has, you know, people like you guys with the most incredible ideas and get up and go. I feel really proud to say that I belong to this region right now. It's amazing. And to have access to things like split spaces here and the work that, you know, has gone into it. Startup Onramp, our fabulous Deb Allen, our split spaces manager, aka just bear me with me for a while I try to technology guru, accompanied by her colourful and fabulous right-hand girl, Sherry, our fairy godmother during the program, and Cynthia and a partner who took the mic to give Deb a break. Or was that a break for us from Deb? The 4-minute pitch, ditch that slide. Icky guy, I know my why. Values, props, business models, pitch deck templates, legal modules, elevator invites, tech gurus, insights, validation, hotspot stations, what COVID-19 stops the nation. Proto.io, Lean Stack, Strategizer, Deanne and Co, The Gaddy Show, Lean, Green, who's on your team? Branding, logos, boom to bust, capital finance, who do you trust? Well, as a director of split spaces and a semi-pseudo participant, I'm going to trust better versions of Me Breathing app, Struts Dry Hire, Ease Fatigue Solutions, Linton's learning platform, whatever it may be, Reality Plans Photography, Clever Cool Fridge Fans, because one day I'm going around Australia in my van, Mikey's Savvy Scripts Publishing, because these startups got their start right here. They showed up and let themselves be seen. And that took courage. Congratulations to everyone and happy graduation.
Next time we'll get that.
Could I just have a tissue?
That was beautiful. Yeah, thank you so much, Melissa. I was going to do a spoken word rap. I didn't quite get there.
So to all of our participants and those on Zoom, we'll say goodbye to you now. You can log out and I'll shut down my computer and we're all going to celebrate. So thank you so much for joining us. We are running another Startup Onramp. Oh, what's that? It's Sean. Hi, Sean. We are going to be running another Startup Onramp. So for those of you who know somebody who may want to join in, please let them know to get in contact with Split Spaces. And yeah, goodbye to our Zoom participants. Thanks so much for Zooming in.
And everyone will be staying in touch. We expect to see all the faces here, back here quite regularly. Thanks.
Let's say goodbye to our Zoom participants.
Bye. Now we need to do that weird, where's the lead meeting?
Okay, we're going to end the meeting.
Yes.
Bye.
Over here, if you want to come and wave directly.
Yeah, there they are. Oh, on this one. Yeah.
You know, it's a bit dark.
Oh, that's okay.
So where are we looking?
Well, you can either stand here and look in there, or you
in front of
can,
this camera.
yeah, that's all. We're very tech. And I won't be able to end the meeting because I don't know where my Somebody had it.
Yeah, it's a magic
Turn it
one.
off. Escape.
F4.
Thank you, Gabby.
I did. Alt F4. It's fine.
And there we go. Oh, it was there.